Today on a Couple of Pointers podcast, we're lucky enough to have Elliott Garcia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ricky.
Now, you have a pretty interesting background, not that your traditional started your career in SaaS. How did it start for you?
Well, I started with in my hospitality background. So it started 12 years ago. Came from Chicago, local Midwest kid. And then a little bit after that, I just traveled along, came to Vegas, and hospitality is huge here, and started and just grinded all the way down to like conventions, food serving. Finally, I got tired and COVID hit. And that's where the whole shutdown. And one of my friends invited me to a coffee shop, and I asked him, I was like, man, this guy's been away and now he's making money still. So I'm like, what is SaaS? That was the question that I asked him. I was like, what is SaaS? Well, what do you guys do?
Nobody really knows, right? We're still figuring it out. Now, so many of those hospitality skills are transferable.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Did you find like your head starts, or you had to learn everything from scratch?
Well, a friend asked me this question like 2 days ago. It's just like, how did your hospitality background just get into SaaS? And I said this: you're working like hands-on with people, like face-to-face and neck. You know what I mean? They're like shoulder to shoulder. So when there's a problem, you have to fix it. You cannot leave that room until you fix it. And I noticed that a lot in SaaS, there's always a lot of problems, gaps, solutions to be fixed. And so I was like, oh, you know what? I think I could do this. So I fell in love with the idea of just finding solutions.
Sounds like there's a lot of transferable skills from hospitality to customer success roles too.
You know what? I've thought about customer success because the onboarding experience and also teaching people about what they just bought. Hey, you just bought this. Here you go. So I've thought about that. I don't know in the near future if I would take a customer success, but maybe later on down the road. Maybe I might check into that. But I like customer success.
I think it was McDonald's that taught all the SaaS sellers about how customer success should be upselling. And it's the classic, would you like fries with that?
Ooh, or Supersize Me. Remember that?
Yeah. How could anyone forget? So listen, here's what I want to do. I've got a whole lot of questions I want to ask you. The kind of questions that we get asked all the times from SDRs, people getting into tech sales. And I'd love to get your input. You ready to go?
Absolutely. Shoot away.
Now, I'm sure there's 100 ways to answer these, but I just need one answer from you. Right?
Okay.
So could you give me one way to answer the I'm too busy objection?
Yeah, sure. Well, what's a good time this Wednesday?
That was so sweet. So people overcomplicate things and then you're just like, yeah, well, you're busy now. So when are you not busy? I love that. How would you handle the objection, not now?
Okay. How about next week, Monday?
I'm just loving how simple you make this. People come up with the most complicated shit on how to deal with these objections and you just deal with it like a normal human being. Oh, not now. Okay. Well, maybe later, right?
Right.
How would you handle the objection, we don't have budget?
Okay, so what's your Q1 looking like? So Q4 is over. What about Q1?
Yeah, that's great. Just so simple. You don't have budget now. It's again, well, are you going to have budget later? How would you handle the objection? We already have a solution for this.
Oh, what's working? What do you like about the product?
I actually have to laugh because you make it so simple. And it should be. Like, I'm loving this. Is a masterclass that I've never had. I'm like waiting for these. Well, here's a hypothesis. And if you tap into this neuro-linguistic programming technique, you could manipulate you're like, what's working? Like, just 2 lines. I love it. All right, last one. How would you handle the objection? Send me an email.
What do you like? What would you like in that email? Is there anything specific that I said that stood out to you? Is there anything that you're going through that you might want to read up on? That's it.
That's great. Now I can tell why you're killing it in tech sales. Right? It really is that simple. Like just a normal, casual conversation talking to another person about what we can achieve.
Right, Ricky. And you hit it right on the nail. It's me just selling from a person to another person. I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. I just want to help you out. Hey, if this works for you, I hope it does, because I think about LTV, long-term value. I'm not trying to sell you something that in 6 months you're going to be calling me and be like, hey man, this is the worst thing I've ever bought. I want you to be satisfied with what you just bought.
That's great. That's the way you align your interests with the company's interests, right? Not just selling someone who's going to churn super quickly on a hard sell. So it seems simple enough, but obviously it isn't that easy and a lot of people can't do it.
Right.
How long do you think it should take until an SDR is effective?
As far as going into his role, like starting brand new?
Brand new SDR, never been in SaaS. How long until they're actually having a positive impact?
I'd say about 2.5 months, because the first month you're going through your training. Second month, you are learning the product, and then after those 2 months, you should be able to go. Because
So-
go ahead.
So you stick with that classic, like it's a good 3 months there or thereabouts for an SDR to ramp.
Yeah, the first month everything's so brand new to you. I'm currently with Data Axle, and then I was with Outplay. But during those first couple months, you're learning everything. You're getting to know your teammates. You're getting to know, oh, here you go, learn this handbook. You're like, oh, okay. And then the second month is, this is our process, this is our procedures, this is what we do. And after that, you should be able to go and start talking like you've been doing it like the back of your hand.
One of the big mistakes I often see is companies, they're so keen to move quickly, but moving too fast is actually unproductive and slow. It's one of those things, do it wrong, do it twice.
Right.
They try around people. Week 1 is learn how to SDR. Week 2 is learn the product. Week 3 is now you full quota, let's go. And it takes them 4 months from that point until they're really effective because they didn't learn the foundations correctly.
That's correct, Ricky.
Now, you've had a few roles since hospitality. You've been at Outplay, you've been at Data Axle. For each of those roles, or in general, how many cold calls a day or a week did you do to get the outcomes you needed?
And I also forgot to mention, I was with Fortuna.ai, which just got bought out. When I first started with Fortuna, I was doing between 100, 120 to 150, depending how much Red Bulls or coffee I drank that day.
Is that a day? Okay, so that's a day. $150 a day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I was B2C.
And you're not doing that with a parallel dialer. You're just banging that phone hard.
I was using dial pad.
Okay. Listen, I love dial pad. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good dialer, but it's fantastic for account executives. It's got some built-in conversational intelligence. So like super good value for money. Big fan. I recommend it all the time, but it doesn't help promote you doing calls quickly. It doesn't have that power dial functionality.
It doesn't.
Unless you're really in that call center suite, which is then super expensive and you're not getting good value for money anymore.
Yeah.
All right. So you were burning a hole in your ear doing $150 a day. By the time you were at Outplay, were you still doing those volumes?
Yes. Yep. I got a SDR of the month for, I think I did almost 1,000 dials in that month. Not sure. I forgot.
All right. Well, I mean, $1,000 in a month. What's that? 30 days. That's only averaging like 50 a day. You're not impressing anyone here.
I think so. I forgot the number. I think it was like 1,000 a day. But I booked like 37 meetings also. So yeah.
That's a good.
I think it was the effectiveness. No.
Yeah, that's it. Because volume is one thing, right? It's outcomes that matter. Now, across all of these different companies, slightly different products, have you come to find that one channel is better for you or one channel has consistently been better for the companies you've worked at?
Cold calling isn't dead.
So phone first, right?
Yes, sir. Phone's what got me here, and phones was going to get me to the next level.
You can pay it a lot of money just to speak it into a little microphone.
Yep. I love the phone. And also, I do like LinkedIn as well. You get more of engagement with their post, what event they're going to, they're attending. It's many different aspects of it. And I like phone first, second LinkedIn. And then I don't know if they're mentioning this or not, but dark social too is a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Now, for the sake of the audience, what is dark social?
Dark social is outside of LinkedIn. It's communities where all we do is talk about tech. That's it. That's all we do is talk about tech, what's working, what's not working, how you can get better. And I think I've gotten a lot better since I've joined Dark Social. It's just real people taking real time to take me those things that you're going through that maybe you don't want to talk about, you know what I mean, out in public, and be like, man, you know what? I'm not going. This sequence that I got going on isn't working. Hey, try this. Boom. That's okay. Wow, that's working now.
If I was looking to change CRM, I would never Google it, right? All I'm going to be fed is paid ads.
Right.
Here's the top 10 CRMs in the world, kind of blog posts, sponsored ads, affiliate ads. I'm going to go into a Slack channel or a WhatsApp channel and go, guys, I've got this big problem. These are my particular needs. What CRM should I be using? And I'm going to get genuine experts sitting there saying, hey, mate, this is what I've done. This is what works. This is what doesn't work. I can trust it 100% of the time.
Awesome. Yep. Just like that.
Now, when you're at Outplay, for example, you're booking 37 meetings in a month.
Yep.
How did you prevent no-shows?
So not preventing no-shows, say it's 3 days out, I quickly either give them a quick ring, that's me, or give them a nudge email. Hey, looking forward to talking about so and this, and just a simple, short, sweet email. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the box. Don't give them a case study, don't give them a video, but I just something sweet and simple.
Yeah. All right. Glad that works. Now, on all those 37 meetings or across all of your companies, how many touches per prospect are you finding it's taking to get a meeting on the books?
How many touches to get meetings? Through cold calling or through anything?
Through anything. Like on average, do you reckon you're getting hold of them on the 7th time you're trying to dial them?
So, man, believe it or not, sometimes on a first ring, I have gotten one booked meeting. Sometimes it takes 20 dials. Sometimes it takes 30 dials. It just totally depends. Not every day I was like rookie of the year. Not every day I was like on fire. Some days you got to grind it all the way to 5 p.m. Or sometimes it's not going to go your way.
Now, you mentioned 5 p.m. What's the earliest you found to be effective for a call block?
The earliest, as soon as I wake up, the first thing I do is get my cup of coffee, 8 a.m. PST. And if you're Eastern, do 8 a.m., 7 a.m. You just got to depend what time, that people are like either during their time, like they're waking up or whatever. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that, hey, you give them like an hour after that, like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Those are the big times that I just stay on the phone.
That's awesome, because I think a lot of people wouldn't start at 8 a.m. And so that 8 till 9, they're waiting till 9 a.m. So you'd say 8 till 9 a.m., you've booked a lot of meetings. It's been an effective time for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Super interesting. There's a hot take, right? Get an extra hour in, eat that frog, and win before 9 a.m. Win before most other people are getting to work.
Well, I think a lot of people start working a lot earlier, to be honest with you. Maybe some people wake up at 7 and they get to work probably like 9:30. Yeah. So maybe you might catch them on traffic, or you might catch them eating breakfast or something.
Now, on your cold calling, what's been more important for you? What you say or how you say it?
What you say. No, I'm sorry. How you say it. Tone.
So tone. All right. Tone for the win. Right. Now, we've spoken a lot about calls. We've spoken a little bit about dark social. Your current LinkedIn strategy, is it a bit of a connect and message, or are you also converting to this like super slow, long game kind of social selling motion?
Long game social selling motion. You do not want to pitch someone right away. That's like something I don't do, because I've noticed that like when I first started, I would put in the message right away. I'd be like, hey, my name's Elliott. I just wanted to know if you were interested in so, and then I'd send them the website. And then after that, they're like looking at me. They're like, no. So I stopped doing that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm always interested to ask, right? Because I only ever see it from my perspective. Like if somebody knocks on my door and they're like, hey, we want to talk about your Lord and Savior. I've got like a Jehovah's Witness there. I'm like, how is this ever effective, right? How does this work? But you then look at the movements and there's like hundreds of thousands, or I don't know how many people, so it does work. It just doesn't work on me, right? So I'm always interested to hear what other people are doing, and I'm glad that we're aligned there, right? Long play, social sell for the win.
Yeah, ask him to take you out for a cup of coffee or something, or send you a Starbucks card, Ricky.
Send me a Starbucks card. I'm in Melbourne, mate. We do not drink Starbucks. It's actually not so bad. I don't mind Starbucks, but we're all about our artisanal home roast. I want to know, was that roasted in your bedroom? That's how artisanal our coffee has to be here for it to meet the standards.
Awesome. Now, okay.
How often do you recommend new SDRs practice cold calling?
Ooh, it's like lifting weights. You're not going to get big overnight. You're not going to get big next week or next month or in a year. You got to do it like regularly. Like I would say every 2 days, 3 days, touch up on it. And learn it like the back of your hand, because it's like a muscle. The brain is a muscle, and so you gotta keep lifting. And so what I mean is go at it with a teammate. Hey, how did this sound? Or read through your tapes. That's a big one too. Does Tom Brady review his tapes? Does LeBron James look at his tapes? You gotta look at your tapes and see where you went right, where you went wrong. Even if you're doing good, still listen to it. I always listen to my tapes. When I book meetings, when I don't book meetings, when I'm off, when I'm hot, when I'm cold, I have to review my tape.
Love that. It's a fantastic practice. And when new SDRs start at Pointer, I always tell them the two hardest parts of your job. One is going to be listening to dial tone. You think it's going to be actually having cold call conversations, but it's not.
Right.
What you're going to hate the most is when people don't answer and you're sitting waiting. And the second hardest part of your job is going to be listening to your own calls.
Yep.
You got to do it.
I want to be an SDR at Pointer now.
You can come coach all of our reps on the phone, right? How do you answer these objections? Simply, right? Right. Moving on to email. We've spoken a lot. We've spoken social. Okay. We've spoken calling. On email, what's your perfect length at the moment? Like these long-winded, short and sweet. How do you roll?
Man, I had this deliverability of 97%, right? But like open rate was terrible. So I'm like looking. I'm using my Slack channels, dark social, and I'm like looking around. And I'm like, man, I'm stumped. I'm like, man, I got 97% 1% out of 300 to 400 people are looking at my emails, but they're not replying. So what I did, I started making them shorter, and I started making them more relevant instead of just like this whole thing stacked, like a big stacked sandwich at a picnic on a nice Sunday evening. I said, you know what, man, I gotta start making these a little bit more short and sweet and to the point and more relevant about the company. What are they going through? What's their news? They might need this, how can I just put it in there? So my thing is short and sweet and to the point and be more relevant about what the company is going through right now, currently.
That's brilliant. So if you had to pick, do you err towards personalization or relevance?
Relevance. I tried personalization. And it's not me against, hey, I know they're probably going to get some, hey, man, I really work hard on my personalization. No, I get it. Hey, me too. But, when you can be more relevant with what the company is doing right now and what they're going through, I think you'll get more replies. I've gotten a lot more replies with short and sweet and just be more relevant about what they might be.
The obvious answer is you want both. You want it to be personalized and relevant. But to me, there's nothing more personalized than if you can make an email to me so relevant to what I'm currently going through that it seems as if it's perfectly for me. That is personalizing by getting that perfectly relevant. Now,
boom.
Give me 3 tools that every SDR should have.
Oh, lead enrichment tool. Man, there's so many out there, and I don't want to be like branding them, but Zoom Info, Lead IQ, Seamless.
Right, you got to get data. You got to have a good data tool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are just for lead enrichment. Second one, outreach. Outplay, if whichever one you like.
Sales engagement platform, Apollo.
SEP, Apollo. Yeah. Third one, I would have to say video prospecting. If you're not into video prospecting, get into it. Vidyard, Bomb. What's the other one? Loom. So those 3, I think. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah. And Regie.ai.
Regie.ai, I bloody love it. I really do. Now, on that video, were you using video in your first email? Because most of the people recommended slightly further down. Where were you using video?
I did this last year. I did this Halloween video prospecting, and I did it in the middle, and I'll tell you why. Because I was seeing because I did 2 different kind of like sequences. One with like a spooky kind of video prospecting, like tips and tricks, like trunk or treat, tips and tricks. And then I just kind of did, hey, when they opened it up, hey, you're looking at me, I'm looking at you. And I just did something like comical, but like funny. And it was working. Yeah. I got a lot of opens, and I was able to just guide through there. We were able to get one company. So that's good. But I did it in the middle. And because I was just seeing which one I could take it with. It was more funnier or more stern, and it works out. So I do it in the middle just to see where I could pinpoint it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what landed up being better, the funnier one or the more straightforward stern?
I think the funnier one, a lot of people really enjoyed that one. It's, work can sometimes be the mundane, same thing over and over. So why not just switch it up sometimes and just have fun with your job and what you do, and
isn't it Halloween coming up soon?
I know, it's almost, can you believe a year flies by so fast?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do a Halloween video prospecting series, and we're going to do it I'm making this video from inside the house.
Starting Ricky.
I also really like video on LinkedIn because it's going to be delivered. Obviously, there is delivery issues if you're leading with it. If your email isn't warmed up, you've got a lot of challenges with video prospecting. I particularly love video further down the pipeline, like for account executives, use video to summarize a meeting in your proposal, just to capture notes, just a quick update. Video is absolutely incredible for an account executive because you're also genuinely trying to build a relationship and potentially a long-term relationship. Whereas SDR, whilst you are trying to build a relationship, let's be honest, it's pretty transactional, right? Like LinkedIn, middle to the end of a sequence, and further down the funnel, video is a superpower. Now,
love it.
Onto SDRs. What are some of the traits that you think every SDR has to have to be successful?
Strong work ethic, be driven, and be passionate.
All right. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty simple because that's all. It's a mental game. We're not gardening, we're not in the construction field. It takes a good work ethic to have these things aligned and then be passionate about what you're doing, because passion can easily just like zip out like that, and then you're like, I'm just the latest quiet quitting I've been reading about that. A lot of people have been posting out quiet quitting, and you want to make sure that this is what you want to do, and this is what I want to do. I'm grateful for the chance and just really being involved and being a voice, and so it's great. I like it. Some days, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not waking up like, oh my gosh, I love my job, let's go. Some days it takes a little bit of courage to get up and 2 shots of espresso and let's go.
Since you've started cold calling for SaaS, how many Red Bulls or shots of coffee have you had for the sole purpose of picking yourself up for a call block?
Oh man, I don't even know. You know what? I went to Starbucks so much I had to stop going. I was spending like $40 a week, and I had to start getting my own local roasters. Yeah, yo, I love local roasters. Hey, if you guys go support your local roasters. So
I'm in Melbourne. This is the coffee capital of the world. People don't know that, and if they argue with it, we'll kill them.
Oh man, I gotta try some now, man.
Yeah, seriously, it's good. Obviously, I don't know if the coffee's grown here, but definitely roasted. And like, you'll find a barista here, a good man bun, more tattoos than they have skin, stretched earlobes. You know that coffee's going to be exceptional.
Come on, make me want to pour a coffee right now. I probably drank a lot.
I was joking with all those questions, of course, and any form of gender discrimination describing a barista as someone with a man bun or anything else. Now, should SDRs be joining discovery calls?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason I say yes is because you want them to learn about what you're saying, what they're saying, and how we're figuring these things out and how we're moving forward. It's important to have them in discovery calls after the SDR has qualified them, because you want to know. When I remember when I was in my previous companies, I was wondering, man, I wonder what they're talking about now. I wonder what's going on with John. I'm just making up a name. I wonder what's going on with Peter. I wonder what's going on with Rick. I'm like, did they sign? Did they like it? Is the discovery call going good? You got all these things going on in your brain. You're like thinking, you got all these thoughts. So I think it's important to just fill them in. Hey, the call went great, the discovery call went good, but also, hey, why don't you become a part of it? That way you give them like this kind of like ownership. Now they're looking forward to more calls with the AE or the seller or whatever you want to call them.
So let's dig into that SDR AE relationship. What have you found to be some of the things that really help the SDR AE handover for this prospect?
So give them the synopsis. After you BDR qualify them, let them know, hey, I gave them the band. This is their budget. Most of the times they don't give you a budget, but authority. Yeah, they're the champion, or they're going to have their supervisor on there. Give them the need. Real quick. Hey, they asked about this. They asked about this. Their company does this. Time. When do they need this by? And so once the AE knows a little bit about more of that, and you give them a quick synopsis, I think that after that, the AE should do what AE usually does. Close it out.
For everyone listening, BANT is an absolutely useless qualification method. However, it is very good for an SDR to bear those things in mind when having a conversation, because it is relevant. You absolutely do not go through that shit way of qualification, like specifically asking them the BANT questions, right? Now, did you as an SDR or as an AE, did your SDRs help you multi-thread within an organization once you already have an opportunity?
No.
So that's all on the AE?
Yep.
Interesting. Do you think that's something an SDR could do?
Depends. What's the base? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, I would say as an SDR, you want to learn as much as you can. You don't want to be an SDR forever, right? And learning from your AE, how he got there, and being involved in as many threads as you can be, I think it's good. As far as me, where I'm at right now, I'm involved in different channels, not just lead gen, but also nonprofit, and I'm in other divisions. And it's good that that I could be in different divisions in different places. That way I'm like learning. So whenever somebody below me wants to learn as well, I'll take them along with me. There's no such thing as knowledge being kept to yourself.
Yeah, it's something that Pointer is working on developing. You see, the classic two-step SDR AE model. The model was just that. The prospect went through an SDR and then through to the AE for closing. However, we're pushing this model in a more sophisticated way towards field sales or enterprise sales motions, where the actual SDR can strategically help an account executive who's trying to focus on quality, bring in some of the additional stakeholders to meetings, potentially prospect into different regions for the same account, and try to pull like a magnet all of those people towards the account executive so that they can have a stronger opportunity and help them grow from, if it's a PLG motion and they've managed to get, say, one person who's using it within an organization. For example, Reggie, somebody registers, they use it, they sign up, but you look at their domain and they're at linkedin.com. Now we need to go from this user up to the enterprise level, and another place where the SDR can really help support that motion. So bringing in a question here, how often do you think SDR should have one-on-ones with their leadership?
Well, I think it should be an open relationship and what I mean by that, don't ever hesitate to ask your leader, hey, I feel like this ain't working. Can you help me out? But every week they should have a one-on-one at least for 15 to 20 minutes every week just to see what's up, because I think it's important. Yeah, leadership leaks to the body.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. So for us, it should be at least weekly, but the ad hoc lands up being a lot more. Now, have you ever tried or done live cold call coaching? Do you think that's something that's effective?
What is that?
Live coaching.
Oh,
like an SDR's on the phone and you talking to them in their ear.
We do the cold call redemption with Rev Genius while using Nooks, and it's like that, but not really, because you have 5 bubbles, and if somebody picks up, then the coach goes in there with you. I think it's cool, depending on the relationship you have with your leader. Are you learning from him? Is he giving you your space? There's so much to it, but I say yes and I say no. It depends. It's a balance. You don't want to do it every week. Hey, guess what? It's the cold call me in your ear time, and it's kind of be like, I have to have a balance, I would say. So I'm 50-50 on that one. What do you say, Ricky? I don't know. I want your take on this one, because this is tough.
Right. For me, live coaching might be suitable for account executives that are in 30-minute meetings, and you can be in there in the back of the call and you could say, hey, ask them about this or dig into this pain. No problem. On a cold call where you've got 7 seconds, you've got 1 minute, it's really short and sharp. I find I'd rather the SDR be completely present and focusing on that, and coach them post call in training or even directly after the call. But for me, live coaching, real time with prospects, never seen it work well.
It doesn't, because think about it. You have your headset, right? And then you have, I'm just saying, I know you don't do this, but I'm just going to use you as an example. Ricky is, oh, don't say that. Come on. Hey, faster, hurry. Come on, point. The SDR is going to be like, whoa. Next thing you know, you're going to be like, you know what, Ricky, I'm putting it in place. I'm just kidding.
Okay, on giving in the 2 weeks, what's one tip that an SDR or any sales rep you could use for managing their mindset?
Man, you know what? I've been reading a lot of posts on LinkedIn. Yes, I do read everyone's posts, FYI. I don't just scroll and give you guys likes. It's important to keep your mindset. If you need an extra day, I have taken it, if you really need an extra day, like a Monday, hey, you know what? I need to take Friday to Monday to get my mind right back in, because like I said, like we were talking in the middle of the podcast, we're saying that how important it is for your mental health, for your stability, for your mindset. Things sometimes you just need I need to go hiking for 5 hours, or hey, I need to go visit my dad, or I need to go visit my mom, or I need to go take my wife out, or take the kids to Disneyland, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just need a different scene, a different time to just reflect and say, hey, you know what? I need to do this and this. And when you come back refreshed, I took a 2 week and a half to go see my dad in Dallas. I feel great. Benching 225 still. I'm like, man, I'm ready to jump on my toes. And
I saw some.
What's that?
I saw some videos of you in the gym. It always inspires me.
And so it gives you that refresher to go and do something different to keep that stability, like you're asking. You need some time off. Don't ever try to do pedal to the metal, hustle culture. It's cool and all. It's great to bring revenue, but like you said, man, we're here to help people.
All right, just a few more questions here. Now, this one, I don't know if you're ready to talk about, but a little birdie told me that you've got an exciting change in the horizon.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
What bird is this? No, I'm kidding.
This is a pretty reliable bird.
I am. Some exciting news that is going to come up ahead. I am going back to SaaS recently. I'm involved in SaaS all the time, and so I am going to go to a platform that starts with the letter R. And the most helpful aspect of it is that you can be very new to writing and compelling emails to your target demographic, and after entering even a general idea of your audience, can fairly be compelling to your content in minutes. So stay tuned.
I know what it is. It's a phenomenal tool, genuinely impressive. And the team there at the moment, it seems, I don't know, it's like the rock stars. I don't use that term lightly, but it's like a band. Like you look at all these people, wow, they've really collected. It's like the Marvel DC world. I don't know. I'm talking out of turn. I don't know anything about that. But like the Avengers, which is the one that has all the super people in it.
Adventures, hands down.
The one, right. That's the one. Right. So you're about to start there. You're about a week away. What's your game plan? There's about 10,000 people out there currently that are going to be starting a new SaaS sales role in a couple of weeks or next month. How are you planning to go in there and have an immediate impact?
Well, first thing is, what I always do is read everything you can about the company on the website. What is the content they're putting out there? Learn it, read it, like the back of your hand, because this is what you're going to be helping people with. So you want to know what your solution is to people's problems. So understand that. And once I'm in the door and I meet my SDR leader, my growth leader, my CEO, everyone that I'm going to be working around, pick their brain and humble myself and understand how they got there, what they're about, what they want to do, and my agenda that they're going to give me. And from there, just learn, ask questions later, but learn as much as you can as soon as you get in there, and be teachable, because what that got them there is going to get you where you want to be next. And so learn as much as you can, be teachable, and encourage. People need encouragement. Don't ever hesitate. Hey, you did a great job today. Yeah. Hey, thank you for taking 30 minutes to train me. Encourage them and be organized. Any prospects that may have come your way, organize it. You're like, this date, and then once you start getting your sequences and everything in order, boom, you start being uniform, tailored, and everything just like, it'll start getting to the book meetings.
Man, it sounds like you're super excited. You should be. It's a good team and they're lucky to have you. My final question, Elliott, why tech sales? You could be doing anything in the world. You're a highly skilled individual. Why SaaS?
It's a great question. Almost going on a year and 9 months, I fell in love with it. I don't know, I have passion. A friend of mine just introduced me to Rev League, at Rev Genius, and I was watching Tom Slocum and Amelia and all these just booking meetings, and I was like, what is booking meetings? And throwing gifts and clapping for each other and getting hyped off meetings, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. What are they doing? And I fell in love with it. I'm like, man, I want this. And quickly, just 2 months after that, I got my first gig and I took off. 186 meetings booked in 6 weeks.
Wow.
I just fell in love with it. I like it. If I could do it all over again, I'd do it all over again. If I can go 10 years ago, I start wherever we're at, with probably like big monitors and huge typing keyboards and big mouses that click, and you can hear all the way to the end of the hallway. So I love it.
I love it. Well, that passion has certainly helped you thrive in this industry, and I hope that some people listening can absorb some of that passion and hopefully let it fuel them and their success. Elliott, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. If somebody wanted to learn more, they wanted to, get some more advice from you, or they wanted to follow your journey to see what amazing plans you have cooking at your next gig, how do they get hold of you?
Yeah, just hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm friends with Ricky, and so if you can find me there, just feel free to send me a connection request. I'll accept it, and just let me know what questions you may have, how to break into SaaS, what's the secret sauce to cold calling, and anything. I'm here. I'm one click away.
Amazing. Well, that's extremely generous of you, and I'm sure that generosity will be repaid. Thanks for being on, Elliott. It's been amazing, and I'd love to chat to you again soon.
Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate you.